So you guys ever stop to think about how freaking stupid Eggman is? Like, I know he's supposed to be, like, really smart, you know, with, like, an IQ over 300 or whatever, but, like, if you apply any amount of cognitive thought to any of his plans, literally ever, you start to realize how monumentally stupid he is. And I don't even think he's actually dumb. I just think he's so smart that he's, like, come right back around again. And he doesn't actually think things through. Let me just break it down for you. So we're gonna start at the beginning, like all good tales start. It was with Sonic 1, where his plan was to gather up all the little animals, turn them into robots, and why did he do that? I don't actually know why he was doing that in retrospect. I'm not sure he knew why he was doing that, actually. I mean, I guess he wanted a robot army, I can see that, but I feel like there's more effective ways to power robots than stuffing animals in them. Just seems like really out of the way reason to make robots. Like, you don't need to, you can leave the animals out. You can still have the robot without the animal. Pretty sure most robots don't even use animals. Like, at all. And then the robots also look like animals. So you're just making the... Listen. Alright, and in Sonic 2, he's got the Death Egg. And because he watched Star Wars over the weekend and thought that'd be a great idea. And admittedly, that's not the worst idea, except that the Death Egg requires that he power it with the Chaos Emeralds. Now, the problem I have with this is that you have specifically designed your Doomsday machine to be powered by a thing that you do not actually possess. And I don't know if there was, like, no other way to power it, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that there probably was some other way to power it that you just didn't think of. Or didn't bother to think of. You just said, emeralds! Yes! Brilliant! You don't actually have them. So you can't even use them. So logistically, it would make more sense to make your Doomsday machine be powered by a thing that you have or can feasibly get easily. You know, in Sonic CD, he had the time stones, and he went back in time to, like, make the future garbage, because that's what he wanted, apparently. Could also have gone back in time and made it so Sonic never existed. You had options here. If you're gonna screw with the space-time continuum, you might as well go all the way and just shoot baby Sonic in the crib or something. You didn't bother to do that. Instead, you just put robots in the past, which somehow doesn't affect the present, but only the future. And I'm pretty sure that's not how time would work. Just saying. And then, in Sonic 3, he's like, don't worry, we're gonna do the Death Egg thing again. Because conveniently, somehow Sonic blew it up. And I don't even know how he did that, actually. Whatever. We're gonna use the Master Emerald, which is more powerful and controls the other ones. And we're actually gonna be real smart about this and fool the guardian of the Master Emerald, Knuckles the imbecile, that Eggman is totally legit and Sonic is the bad guy. So, while Knuckles is away dealing with Sonic, Eggman is going to proceed to not take the opportunity to take the thing he wants. And instead, is going to harass Sonic. Which is weird, because the whole point of fooling Knuckles was so that Knuckles could harass Sonic, and Eggman could go take the friggin' Master Emerald, something that he doesn't even bother to do until Knuckles is right there next to it and can see him do it. Why are you like this? And like, this is probably the first plan that makes any logical sense, because the Master Emerald is right there, you know where it is, and its guardian is an idiot. So really, you had no reason not to get it way sooner than you did. Do we even want to talk about Sonic Spinball? Because you crafted a pinball defense system there, man. And I don't know why you would design a defense system to keep Sonic, the hedgehog, that rolls into a ball. You crafted a defense system that he specifically would be able to navigate. Instead of, I don't know, building a wall of spikes. Really anything but a pinball defense system. Because, I mean, then you gotta consider that you have to, like, build the pins and the flippers and everything. Like, you had to go out of your way to make that. Like, that had to be extra work that you didn't have to do. But you did it anyway. Sonic 3D Blast, he wanted birds. Moving on from animals, he wants these specific birds. Though at least in this case, with the birds, the flickies can go through, like, space and time. So they can get the Chaos Emeralds. Back to the emeralds again. Okay, that's fine. At least there, I get why you're putting the flickies into the robots. Of course, we never actually see the robots he puts the flickies in do the interdimensional thing that we're talking about. Which begs the question of whether or not that any of the robots that the flickies were in were even capable of doing that. Because even though he captured the flickies and was going to use them to get the Chaos Emeralds, he never actually does that step. It's like he starts a plan. And even when he plans it out, which he rarely does, but even when he does, he goes to step 1 and then goes to take a nap while Sonic messes everything up. I don't know. I don't know why that happens. Sonic R, somebody got a hold of the Chaos Emeralds who is not Sonic or Eggman, and I don't know who that is, but they have too much time on their hands. In any event, they were going to have a race for the Chaos Emeralds. And instead of stealing them, which is what bad guys would generally do, Eggman decides he's going to participate in the race. And his only evil element is that he's going to incorporate other racers that also work for him. But you could have just stolen them. Really easily, in fact. Sonic Adventure, oh my god. Man, you're killing me. Okay. So, you wake up Chaos, the God of Destruction, as you call it, by smashing open the Master Emerald. Why you didn't just use the emerald, I don't know, but you really wanted to wake up this ancient deity. Not knowing if you could control it at all. That's A. B, you're going to use this godlike power now at your disposal, because Chaos is okay with working for you as long as you feed it the Chaos Emeralds, because you want to destroy the city of Station Square and build Robotnik Land, the ultimate city, where I will rule it all. Which, as a finalization to your plans, seems like a bit of a downgrade compared to the whole world domination thing you've been rolling with up until now. Like, now you just want a city. You can build a city anywhere, man. Is Station Square prime real estate? Am I missing something on this? Also, if it's just the city, why do you need Chaos to do that? 'Cause you have a giant flying battleship with a big friggin' laser on the front of it that I'm pretty sure is more than capable of leveling a city if you were to aim it at said city. In fact, according to the final story of Sonic Adventure, you have 2 of these giant flying battleships ready and able to level a city. But you go out of your way to wake up a god that you may not be able to control, a god that requires the Chaos Emeralds to even be strong enough to destroy the city, when you currently sit upon 2 things that could destroy the city without going to all that trouble. Sonic Adventure 2 is really funny because you think that he actually has a plan thought out here. He actually doesn't at all. So Eggman goes to wake up Shadow, the ultimate life form. He does this specifically because he reads his grandfather's diary and wants to wake it up because his grandfather said whoever wakes him will fill the world with destruction. That's what he says. Beyond that, Eggman has no plan, because he had absolutely no clue what would happen when he woke Shadow up. He didn't. It just sounded good to him. So he just did it. Shadow's the one who brings up the arc, mentions the laser, and comes up with the plan to threaten the world. Eggman had no input regarding the plan. Shadow's the one who mentioned all of this. Eggman was just like, yes, it's brilliant! And I think he, like, pretended that he came up with it himself or something. And I like how they're threatening the world with this literal planet-destroying laser beam? But I'm not sure Eggman has a plan for what happens after he fires it. Like, you just blew up the world. And I know some of you are going to say that, oh, he was just threatening the world so he could rule it. And I would believe that, if not for the fact that right before the final story, Eggman was absolutely going to fire that cannon. He did not care. Just, what? If you blow up the Earth, what are you going to rule? Like, maybe it was on, like, a lower setting. He was going to go up part of the planet, like with the moon, but I still feel like you're not really thinking things through on this world domination, because if, like, half the Earth is gone, there is so much that's going to go wrong that even your brilliant mind could not hope to correct at that point. And I just feel like you're not thinking again. Which, to be fair, by this point, seems to be par for the course, so okay. Sonic Heroes, Eggman really had nothing to do with, because it was all Metal Sonic. My whole point with the Sonic Heroes thing is that, hey, robot creation and AI creation specifically, rule numero uno is never, ever, ever design an AI that is so smart that it would think to replace you. Don't actually do that, especially when said AI is in a clone of your ultimate nemesis, robotic clone, and is more than capable of murdering you. Really, locking him up and holding him prisoner is actually a best case scenario, because if Metal Sonic had been really smart, he would have just stabbed Eggman and been done with it. He didn't do that part. Why does Eggman even wake up Dark Gaia in Sonic Unleashed? I don't even know what he was trying to accomplish there, because I'm not sure Dark Gaia was ever under his control at all. He just did it. Because he wanted to be a jerk, I guess. Sonic Colors is great because, you know, I get that the whole Eggman amusement park was a really thinly veiled facade to try to take away from the fact that he was enslaving the Wisps and trying to use their power for world domination or whatever. But my whole thing with that is advertising an orbital amusement park. It actually brings more attention to what you're doing. In fact, if not for that, I'm not sure Sonic and Tails would ever have known about the Wisp thing until it was way, way too late to do anything about it. But instead you built the amusement park and was like, hey, look over here. It's just Dr. Robotnik and I made roller coasters for fun. Nothing nefarious. Like, why'd you even do that step? The amusement park was more work. Sonic Generations were back to the time thing. And him not listening. And not realizing that there's better ways to use time travel that he has not utilized at this point. What was his plan in Lost World? I don't even really remember. I remember the Fiendish Five, who for some reason worked for him for no reason. Beyond that, I forget his plan entirely. No, seriously, what was his plan? I don't remember. Mania seems more realistic. He's trying to use the Phantom Ruby, which is something he actually made. He actually produced his own power source, for example. Finally, after how long? Sonic still manages to stop him, but at least he took the initiative this time to try to make something that he could, like, use against Sonic without having to get the emeralds to do anything about it. Like, you actually showed effort after how long? I don't know what you were going to do with the Ruby, though I guess if you're leading into Forces, we know what he did. Of course, Forces is great for other reasons. So, you use the Phantom Ruby to completely over amplify a mercenary you hired and make him infinite. And that absolutely works, and you win and defeat Sonic and capture him. You do not kill him because you want him to see the dominated world before you kill him. Which is really funny because later in the game, Infinite also just toys with Sonic and doesn't finish him off. And Eggman yells at him for doing this. For doing the thing he himself just did for 6 months. You let Sonic live when he was at your mercy, you moron. And it is only because of your reluctance to finish him off, and you've tried to do this before. In SA2, you almost succeeded. But you sit on your ass for 6 months. Infinite wins for you. He doesn't betray you. And you waste it. Also, if you were gonna, create an illusion of the sun to finish off the Freedom Fighters army, you could have done that way sooner than you did. Okay, let's say you have some kind of weird plan for avoiding you yourself also getting incinerated by the sun you just made. Let's say I believe that. Why didn't you just do that from the get-go? You would have won way faster. My point is that as smart as Eggman is when it comes to the field of robotics, when it comes to any level of strategy or thought process with fulfilling his plans, he seems, he's an idiot.